Yep.
All right. Well, it was the first year I was at the Grand Canyon, and I was working in the pack barn, but days off and whatnot, I'd go over there to the we called it the Dude Ride. If you ever been on the Grand Canyon ride, don't take offense. I mean, that's just what we call it, the Dude Barn. And I go over there on my days off and take rides down the Grand Canyon, just take people down there. But I was starting a lot of mules for Ron Clayton too, and he'd let me ride them mules on my days off to keep them going. But anyway, went over there, and Jake Bowser, young Jake, and I was, we took a day ride down to Plateau Point. And it's a 14-mile ride, and each of us took 10 people, 20 total. And we took them down there, and they looked off, spit in the Colorado River, whatever they did, and rode them back up out of there, got up to the round corral on top and give them their diplomas and, hope you have a great day, and I'm wanting to go home. And anyway, we strung our mules up, each of us riding one, stringing 10, and come down out of the round pen down there on the flat, and old Jake, train coming down, and it's just practice just to hold up, let the train go by, go on down to Williams. And Jake looked at me and he said, we're going to beat the train, and I was like, the train ain't very far away, and it's a big scary train. It's big and it's black and it's steam engine, and I mean, it's puffing steam, and they got that big old giant brass bell on it, just a dang and dang, 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 blowing steam. And between us, we got 22 head of mules. And I thought, well, if young Jake's going to do it, I got to do it. And I just picked up on that cracker mule that I was riding, and I was just like, let's go, and started hollering at them mules and whistling them up, and let's go, guys, let's roll. And we're going. And young Jake, I mean, he's off across the tracks, and I mean, I'm just shoving his mules to him, and dadgum, we got down there, and train, I mean, it's right there, and I'm thinking I'm gonna lose the last three. They're gonna get killed by the train, but they didn't. They got across, and but by that point, I mean, we're not stringing mules anymore. We got 22 head runaway going on. I mean, they sail out across there, and I mean, it's just like we're going. And I had a little bitty mule in the string called Smurfy, and I don't remember who was in front of her, but Big G was behind her. And Big G is, I mean, he's a giant of a mule. There ain't nothing here that you can even compare him to. I mean, he's tall as Matthew, but he'd outweigh Matthew by about 300 pounds, and that's what we put large people on, what we say. and anyway, we're running the flip off, and I'm just thinking, boy, this might not be good. Well, Big G forks a tree, and I got 9 other mules pulling on him, soon to be 8, because Smurfy's going down in the ditch. And she's strung between Big G and another big mule. I'm looking back, Big G's hung on a tree. I mean, his lead rope is round the tree, his face is hung on his, and I'm thinking, we're gonna tear his face off. And I look back, and I look at Smurfy. Smurfy's just hung in the air, because they're tied in solid. Poor Smurf, I mean, she ain't got a foot on the ground. And I'm thinking, Ron Clayton's gonna want to know why, Big G's eyes swole shut, and he don't have any hide from his eye to the end of his nose. But he come loose, and we're still in a runaway. Well, there's a motorcycle gang coming down the road. These mules are going to the barn fast. And the motorcycle guys, they they all think it's going to be big fun, beat their horns at these mules. These mules ain't scared of motorcycles. They just took on a train, tore down a pine tree. Motorcycles ain't shit. And we hit them. Boy, we hit them. All these mules strung together. We was hooking motorcycles and motorcycle riders, and it was a pile of carnage when we got done. But the mules ain't slowed down yet, they ain't had enough. And we stampede up and into the barn. And Ron Clayton heard us coming. He's coming out of the office about time we roll in that barn. And he's, "What the hell are you two doing?" I said, "Hell, Ron, we got to run away, And he said, "Why are the mules running away?" And I said, "Well, we's racing the train." And he said, "You kill anybody?" I said, "Pretty good chance of it." And he said, "What happened?" I said, "Well, we went through a motorcycle gang down here." He just kind of nodded his head and he said, "There'll be no more train racing." I was, "Yes, sir, we've done it. We can say we saw the elephant, it happened." And, that's kind of that deal. But the big one was, I don't know if it's the biggest thing that ever happened in the Grand Canyon when I was there, but it was one of the most memorable. I was packing by myself, left out of that pack barn, left out of there early, and I had a bunch of green mules in the string. Too many green mules, but kind of the way I had to run them that morning. And these mules are hiking, and they're just shoving me and Rico Suave off down in that canyon. And it's hard to get the air out of them going down the canyon. If you're coming out, you can start pedaling them buggers coming up that some gun. You can get the air out of them and kind of get them to operating. But going down, you just scared mostly, and because they're green and they're dumb, and they come out of Tennessee. Tennessee, you can probably fall out of a cornfield, but you probably ain't gonna fall real far. Grand Canyon's a little different. And we're rolling off of there, and I'm thinking, boy, I wish something gonna slow down a little bit, but they ain't going to. And we're going along and come across Mormon Flat and dropping off down into Skeleton Point there. Nothing has a good name there, and there's a reason for it. We're rolling off around Skeleton Point, and falling off into the red and whites, and I don't know, there's mule skeletons all over the red and white switchbacks, and probably some people skeletons they ain't found yet. But we're rolling off down there, and all of a sudden, I'm not near as scared as I was. I'm just thinking, I'm gonna make my personal best in and out of here today. And we roll out, we all the way to the bottom of the red and whites, and there's like 18 switchbacks there. It's a bad deal. But anyway, we got off there and down through Cremation. Like I said, there ain't no good names. We're coming across Cremation, and there's two bad spots up there, and it's all just riprap. It's just rocked in, and it's slick and it's rough getting off of there. And two of them within about 100 yards, and got my pack string down the first one, got up to the second one coming off of there, and I'm counting them down, 3, 4, 5, got everybody, we're good, get in them, let's go. And I look up, there's a guy in the ditch. He's up there a ways, but he's in the ditch, and I'm thinking, well, that's a stupid place to sleep. My God, when you stop down there at tip-off, quarter of a mile back down behind you, the big old flat, you can just camp out there, be fine. And you're sleeping in the ditch, and I ain't gonna get pack string by them, they're gonna walk up there, they're gonna see, oh, there's a guy in the ditch, be breaking loose. This ain't gonna be good. And so I start hollering, hey, hey, you know, getting over there. You know, it's like, oh, you stupid townie, you can't be sleeping. And, you know, I get up, from here to the shop from 'em and pull up, step off, hobble my riding mule, tied pack string off the saddle horn, and I'm walking up there. Hey! 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 He don't look too good. and I look at it, and I mean, he's just deader than a hammer, I'm like, well, shit. Well, I gotta get my pack string around this guy. And I'm thinking, Paul, you gotta call this in because, you're gonna be in trouble again if you don't. And I'm aggravated at him because, well, that's a bad place to die, Now I got, because I got to call NPS, National Park Service. Anything that begins with national or U.S., it's going to be trouble. And it's government. God almighty. So, I look at him and he's dead. And well, I hike back up to my ride mule, get the radio. I'm not wanting to call them because, until you've had to talk to a government agency on a radio, you just can't imagine the ordeal. It's going to be bad. And I finally, I do it, and I 98 Packer NPS dispatch. Girl comes on the radio. She says, hey, NPS dispatch, go ahead, 98 Packer. And I said, yeah, NPS. I said, I got a dead guy on the trail down here. South Kaibab Trail. I said, about a quarter mile above tip-off. And she said, wait 198 Packer. And I said, 98 Packer, waiting one. And, it begins, it's just, it's going to be trouble. And, a couple of minutes, the guy comes on the radio. He's a NPS dispatch, 98 Packer. I said, 98 Packer, go ahead. And he said, we understand you have a deceased individual on the South Kaibab Trail, a quarter mile above tip-off. And I said, yep. And he said, would that be north or south of tip-off? And I'm thinking, it's a good thing the government hires because you couldn't have a real job. Because the South Kaibab Trail, it runs from the rim of the Grand Canyon to the bottom. And then you pick up the North Kaibab Trail in the bottom, and it runs north to the north rim. If you are above something, it is going to be south of it. If you are below it, you're going to be north of it. And I'm thinking, where do they find these people? So, I said, that'd be quarter mile south of tip-off. And he said, roger that. He said, wait one. And I was like, 98 Packer waiting one. And pretty soon he comes back on the radio and he said, can you give us a description of the victim? And I said, well, I was dead, And he said, but, can you give us an approximate height and weight? And I said, well, I ain't tried to pick the son buck up. And, what do you want me to do? Lay down beside him there? All of him's dead, don't matter how big he is. And, sitting there and I, kind of give him some description. I say he's a male, probably early 40s. I'm guessing, 5'10" to 6 foot. Looks like he's probably 190, 200 pounds, maybe a little better than that. And I said, I really don't think it matters what color his hair is. His eyes are kind of glassy blue looking right now. And, they just kind of okay, They said, we're getting the aircraft ready. And I said, get ready? I said, you fly that thing down here in about a minute and a half. How ready you need to get, And anyway, I was sitting there on the rock. His pack, he'd pulled it off before he died. It was right there. I thought, wonder what he's got. You know? So, you know, stand that booger up, open up one of them side zippers, and it's like, hey, there's a headlamp. He don't need that. And yeah, digging around in there, and I was like, well, that's a big old bag of trail mix. I'll sit here and eat this, you know. Sat there eating it and eat about half of it, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, wonder what killed this guy. You know, a little late, but you know, oh well, you already started on it, might as well finish it, you know. And I'm thinking, you know, if I had a little bit of help, I could drop a load off of one of these mules, and shoot, I could hitch him on that saddle. I could pack him into Phantom Ranch. I'd be a hero, you know. They'd probably have a marching band or something down there. And, you know, and I know they ain't going to go for it, but it'll be funny to mess with them. So I was just sitting there and I was waiting for them to call me on the radio, and they did, calling wanting to know some nonsense. And I told them, I said, hey, look, I said, there's a couple big old hikers coming up the trail. I can see them right down there. How about I just drop a load off one of these mules and I'll just throw him up in the forks of the saddle. I'll hitch him on and I'll take him to Phantom Ranch. No, don't move the victim. And I said, well, yeah, I knew that was coming. But, you know, I mean, what? He's dead, you know? I mean, probably had a heart attack hiking out of the canyon. I mean, geez. So I was sitting there, you know, thinking, well, what else can I do to excite him up there? And pretty soon, helicopter pilot, you know, he calls me, you know, his MPS 963, whatever, 98 Packer. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, MPS 963. And he said, we are doing our pre-flight check on the airship right now. We are going to be lifting off in, you know, approximately, I was thinking, oh, shoot, you know, I could have backed that son of a gun down here by now, drove it out of here. And, but it's the government, you know. And anyway, he's talking to me, and I guess his crew's doing all the, you know, checking the oil and watering the radiator, whatever they got to do there. And I'm sitting there, and he calls me, and he says, 98 Packer, he said, we'll be lifting off in approximately 2 minutes. And I'm thinking, yeah, I kind of wish you'd hurry up. And he says, can you give us a sit rep situation report? And I was like, yeah, roger that, MPS 963, wait one. And he was like, MPS 963, waiting one. And I sat there for a minute or two, and I called him back. And I said, sit rep as follows. And he's, transmit when ready. And I said, well, he's still dead. And, you know, you know, then dispatch breaks in. They said, 98 Packer, from now on, we'll refer to the victim as 901 Henry. And I was like, roger on, Henry. And, you know, I mean, I can hear Park Service trail crew, or Packers are coming up, and they've stopped down there at tip-off. And, you know, they don't want to get involved in it either. And they're pretty good guys, you know, kind of, sort of. And, but I can hear them down there laughing and stuff, you know. And I was just sitting there, and I'm just thinking, you know, this is. I've had better runs, you know. I mean, the sun's getting up. It's gonna get hot before I get out of here today. Well, there's these three little old college girls hiking up the trail, and I'm sitting there. But by this time, I've gone up to my mules, pulled a manny off of a load, and I got it thrown over this guy, and I'm sitting on the line of rock. He's just right behind me right there, and I'm still digging in his pack some, getting some stuff. And these girls come walking up, and they look, and they said, what's under, or first they asked me, they said, something wrong with your mules? I said, no. I said, they fine. I said, you just go on past right here. And I said, then you can get up above them. I said, get up there a ways. And I said, be careful, don't roll any rocks down into them or anything. And I said, you get by them, I said, just slip off behind them. And I said, you'll be fine. That one says, "What's under that?" And I said, "A dead guy." And she said, "Uh-uh." And I said, "Uh-huh." She said, "There is not." And I said, "There is too." And she, she's standing there, and probably all of 19 years old, knows all there is to know about everything. And she said, "Well, I don't believe you." I reached, pulled his heart back. Oh my God, what happened to him? And I said, "He hiked off in this canyon." I said, "Same thing might happen to you. You don't start scattering tracks getting out of here." I said, "That sun's coming up, it's going to get hot." And they went off, poor thing's probably in counseling for the next 16 years, but she'll be all right. And I'm getting pretty fussed with MPS, because it's been going on for, near 2 hours, jeez. And finally that helicopter pilot, well, I heard him take off up there, and he called me on the radio. He's the MPS 963 to 98 Packard, and I said, "Go ahead, MPS." And he said, "We're airborne." I said, "Yeah, I can see you." I said, "Whatever you do," I said, "do not try to land that helicopter up here." I said, "You sit down at tip-off." And he said, "We're going to have to gurney the victim out." I said, "I don't care if you quarter and pack him out of here." I said, you scatter these mules," and I said, "There might be more 901 Henrys down this Sunday night." And, and they did sit down there, and when I called dispatch, I said, "Hey," I said, "that helicopter's on the ground." I said, "Can I just, go ahead and gather my pack string and get out of here? I can get around this." And they said, "No, stay with the victim." And I was like, "What? He's going to run off or something?" I mean, he ain't going nowhere. And, but they made me sit there with the silly son of a gun, That's all right. I had me some stuff. And they're hiking up there with the gurney, the helicopter pilot. He's leading the entourage, and he gets up there pretty close. I said, "Hey," I said, "you're here." I said, "You got an eye on him. I don't think he can get away." I said, "Can I get my mules and go?" And he said, "Well," he said, "where have you been exactly?" I said, "I've been right here, up to my pack string, and back to here about twice." I said, "But them son of guns ain't going to sit there much longer." I said, "They're stirring around," and I said, kind of a bad place. They get to pushing on each other and go off that edge." And he's like, "Yeah, you probably ought to get you." I said, "Thank you very much," and got my stuff, went on to Phantom Ranch. But, it's just dealing with the government can be one of the biggest aggravations. But, and they're trained. And
trained aggravation.
They are. And, if anything is outside the manual, they're lost. And it's just, I just don't like calling. It was I don't know,